All right, good morning. This is the 24th. We are reviewing some charts. I think we have about 100 and change, 110. We'll break them up into 3 different videos and about 35 each, maybe 40. I don't know. It depends. Sometimes we get extras at the end of the third video that are not alphabetically ordered in case somebody wants to throw one last minute here. Okay, so these are stocks that you have, tickers that you have requested. First things first, I usually look over the market in general here, but there's no need except to say that we are at all-time highs. And what are we reviewing, right? The only thing is the IWM, the small caps, are about to break out. And if they do, they have, I don't know, 20% of upside, which makes me let's say 14% of upside, which makes me doubt the timing. I mean, this is a holiday week. It's a happy week. It's a short week. Some weird things can happen. So we could have a 5% rally. But if I'm an investor and I'm looking to invest, I had that conversation yesterday over dinner with friends. If somebody said, I just got 100,000 and I want to invest in the stock market, and they dump all of it in one stock right now, hi Tom, I would wonder. Hi, Jax. So, timing wise, not the best time to go all in. Like the conversation went to crypto as well. If you noticed, Solana yesterday took off, and now everybody wants to get into crypto. Hey, what is this Solana you've been talking about? It's not the right time to just jump in. That's the only comment I'm going to make on the whole market. So, to that, whatever I say in here about a particular stock, I want you to take it with the concept that it's not a great place to jump in, regardless of how good that one stock looks. For example, let's start with the first one, American Airlines. Great rally. Where it stopped, somewhere in the middle of that, recovering half of the losses. It's not a great place to get started. But if it goes above 14.8, it could get to 16. So now I'm in the mode of trying to time a dip in it that would make sense. So if I zoom in on that same stock, if they take this prior fail, which was like 5 days ago, they could get up to here. But I'd rather get started from a better base. So I won't dump everything in here, although it could be a trigger waiting to happen. So I would rather wait. So it's going to be a lot of these comments today. Apple, they're buying dips. You can see it. Dip, bought, dip, bought, dip. Maybe it will get bought. I don't see why Apple needs to fall all by itself. Okay. And it's pretty close to prior fails. I mean, it has prior fails that are at these levels. And of course, this is the leader of all stocks. It's the largest market cap, and it could gain another 5% without any problems. And we're going to do a bunch of this today, zoom back to see. So close to 200, and it couldn't crack 200. That's a little disappointing, so they might do it on Tuesday. They might want to do it on Tuesday. ABBV, it's toppy up here from a weekly perspective. It has had better prices. So if you're a momentum trader, we will look into it in a minute. But if you're looking to invest in ABBV, it would have been better if it didn't have these peaks, 3 descending peaks. It's good that it held support fairly flat. It's good that it broke out of a resistance zone. It's not good that it's going into these 3 failing peaks. But like I said, momentum traders might have room inside those 3 peaks, up to 12%. So we'll see what happens. And if we drill down closer, I see a failing level at 156.5. Good morning, Sam. So 156.5 to 157.5 might be important this week. ADM, while markets are making highs, this one is trying to hold the floor. So it looks like it has a lot of sellers anywhere above 74. So if I'm long and rallies to 74 fix me, I would be out if I was a trader. If it loses 69, I think it loses a lot more. Maybe another $5, if not more. It will fall into these clutches down here. Not quite a head and shoulders, but the body language of this chart is it needs to hold support. Amazon, I think they're going to have numbers like you wouldn't believe for the holidays. I think people are spending in the US on the holidays in a massive way. Let's see what comes out of it. Unlike Apple, for example, which is toying with an all-time high, this one has a mountain of sellers waiting right above here. So it could get to 170, 172. I spoke to somebody who owns Amazon stock last night over dinner, and they said, "What would you do?" I'm thinking of adding. I said, I definitely wouldn't add. If anything, I would sell some covered calls. So we can talk about that. Sellers at 168.50. Sellers at 160. So those are immediate levels of resistance. And the whole zone, anything above 160, has sellers waiting. How do I know? I'm just looking left on the volume. I don't know what this is. Pacer, small cap, cash cows. Okay, I don't trade this stuff, to be honest. And this one looks like a winner because it's a new ticker that doesn't have prior small caps. Like it should look like the IWM, and it doesn't. But this right here visualizes the excitement of the IWM. So remember, I started with the IWM showing you how it's not broken out and it's looking to break out of a range, consolidation range. Well, that's the visual representation of it, because this one is a new ticker, looks like 2018. So it doesn't have history where the IWM was higher type of a deal. I'm going to guess that's the visual representation of the excitement of the IWM. It is a bullish ticker. If you're a momentum trader, go for it. If you're not, you better know how to trade, because there's a possibility it goes to 41. So over what? I don't know. But I've never traded this. I wonder if it has options. So I'm going to put it on my watch list just so I can get familiar with it. I have a feeling other people are going to ask me about it. The CME chart has a lot of resistance above, so it will follow the market. It may climb to 220, 218. So if you're a trader, momentum, you should pay attention to 217. I think there might be sellers there. And you do have support below. 208, 204, 198. Those are levels of support I see. Again, I don't know what that is. What is it with these things? Okay, this is title, ETF, yield max coin option strategy. Don't know what that is. I wouldn't touch a chart that looks like that if I'm an investor long term. I mean, where's the rush? Is this a Bitcoin thing? I just exited a huge position in crypto that I've shared with you from the beginning. It's a huge winner. I'm not chasing now. I don't know what this is. The chart is a runaway freight train. Looks like GME or something. Okay, CSCO. Good company, trying to recover some decency from the drop on the report. The report wasn't bad. The reaction was super bad. If I'm long, I would stay long. If I was an investor that bought into CSCO down here, I wouldn't add. You did good. Let it mature up here. If the market's hiccup, let's say, then it would come back down towards 48 or 48.50 and see how it behaves. If it loses 45.50 for whatever reason, its own problem or the market problem, it will get much cheaper, which is why if I'm an investor and I took a bite, I would wait for that to happen. If not, and I wished I had bought the dip, I would sell puts to own the shares in that area where you wish you had bought the dip. Buying in calls, maybe. It's not for me though. The trigger would be 50-50. It would go up to maybe another $1.50. Thank you, Jax, for checking on that. I appreciate it. Okay, DE. We said that it would be a good buy down here from an investment perspective when it fell with the industrials. And if somebody did that, good job. I wouldn't start here. Would I book the profits? If it was a trade, yes, I would. If it wasn't, then I got into a stock that I like for cheap. So the markets are rallying not on the fact that we're growing. They're rallying on the fact that they're interpreting the data as crappy, and it isn't. Like from the standpoint of that there's an improvement in the data. There isn't. So we don't have like extra growth. We're celebrating something bad getting taken out, which is the Federal Reserve. They were raising rates and they now said they're going to be cutting rates. So the celebration in the market's not because we discovered new upside in the world, which would feed deer, right? So I wouldn't short it, but I wouldn't load up here. If I look left, 408 to 416 seems like an area that they sold before. While they could bust through it and get to 450, I better know what I'm doing. So figure out why you need to trade it. And if you're investing, definitely do not go all in. Leave room for error. That's what I would do. Disney is threatening to lose its lunch. Last week I had a beep saying, uh-oh, you have one more chance at stopping this debacle. Otherwise, Disney could end up at 87 or 86 or even 85. So I'll say it this way. Unless Disney bounces to 93, it's at risk of getting to 87 or 86. They need to hold 90. Otherwise, there's about $5 of downside. I wouldn't short it, but I would short the rally. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, is that what you guys want? Again, all-time highs. So I'll zoom in. I'm assuming you're a trader, not an investor. Okay, if you take out 37,550, let's put a date on it. The 22nd high, the Friday high, I guess, you can take out the new high. Conversely, if you lose the most recent dip right there, the number is 37,268, you're in risk of retesting those two pokes lower. The lowest one would be Wednesday, the 20th. So the theme would be basically the ping pong is going to be between the highs that we just placed, and that goes for all the indices, between the highs basically of Friday and the lows of the 20th. I'm going to double check that, but that's what, if I were to summarize the next battle. Who breaks first? End phase. I've given up on end phase because we traded it well a couple times, but it was a pain. Both times it was way more hassle than it needed to be. So what do we do with that? I'll give you levels. Company's good, business is good, all of that. But this rally, they're selling rallies inside of a very long descending channel that started in 2022. So all year this year, it's been setting lower lows and lower highs. The fact that they closed a hair above this zone right here from October is encouraging, but not a done deal. So I want to see what they do for the next couple of bucks, because it might be another rally they're selling and it might go back down to 50. It doesn't need to, but that's what it's done every time for a whole year. So why is this one different? So how do we know? When they dip, if they dip to 110, come back and take out the highs from Friday, then they may have finished breaking out. Like look at here. I'm going to zoom in on an area right there. It had gone higher than a prior fail into a very long rally, and then it found a way to come back and make a lower low. So here, this one would be that one right there, and this one would be this one. Is this another fake out is what I'm asking. It had big candles to get there. It has big candles. Same scenario, same looking scenario. So from here, somebody that chased it here ended up here. What if they do that? Just wait out a couple candles. If I'm an investor, I'm not rushing in. What is this? Another one of those. Oh, this one, India earnings. Okay. So I don't know much about the Indian market, so you can do your homework there. Let's look at the chart. It's never been here before. Okay, so all-time highs. If you're asking me for investing, I wouldn't invest in this at these levels. If you ask me for trading, you better be a momentum trader. And it's pretty choppy. I can't look at it on the 15-minute chart. You have higher lows making higher highs. Just chase the pattern. FDX. Oh, okay. I'm done trading UPS and FedEx. I lost on UPS this year for no reason. I knew it was worth more. It just, the rhetoric kept it down. And then it recovered to the levels we thought were valid. And this one now fell into support, bounced exactly at support right there, and then is going to probably face resistance. I don't know if it's done falling. If the markets have a hiccup, FedEx loses 300. I don't know if it holds 225, but that would be the next area of support, 230, 225. If I'm an investor looking to invest, not trade FDX, I would take not more than 30% of my shares. Eva. Okay, so I get the question. Do I see a Santa rally? I don't know what to make with this statement, Eva, not to be nasty about it. We are at literally all-time highs. So are you asking me if this week is going to be green or red? I have no idea. Theoretically, they tell us the Santa Claus rally, it's the last 3 days of the year, the last 3 trading days of the year for tax reasons. I think now it's become the last 2 trading days of the year. But there's nothing typical about this year. Nothing. The markets have just made a move that broke everybody's neck. And we're still asking about a Santa Claus rally. Every year I get these questions and I never know what to say. But this year I know what to say. You mean more than what we just had? I honestly don't know how to answer that one. Because I don't understand the question. It's not like we had a correction last week. We had one red day in more than 2 weeks. If you guys figure. So we're sidebar right now. 8 green weeks in a row. The question is, will we have 9? As opposed to it being a Santa Claus rally. If you ask me that, I will tell you, I don't know. We're going into the holidays in a short week. It should be a slam dunk green week. If the Bulls can't pull out 4 green days after running amok with the Bears, then what's going on, right? So I don't know. Will we have 9 weeks in a row green? I guess I'm going to write this question down. Okay, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. And FedEx will follow. Levels that I want to pay attention to, 257. And first warning at 244 for the Bulls. And of course, that little earnings reaction. Gain. What is this? So this is where I'm getting nervous. I get all these extra tickers that I've never heard of before. That tells me that we have pandemic mode trading coming in again. Yesterday, I got together with like 30 people. More than half I don't know. And I got the same sense. Everybody's an investor right now, and everybody's buying everything like they did in the pandemic. Because that's what we're doing. We're going up, so everybody's loading up. Okay, so I don't know what to say about that sense. Gain is looking to establish footing below 13.9, where I have my cursor, 13.8, 13.9. It should have buyers because it has strong buyers below and strong sellers above. So that's the battle. You have a lot of sellers that if you can overcome 15, you have upside. Meanwhile, you do have a decent base from which to spring. So it dips into this cluster right here, should find buyers. Let's see if they show up. Gold. Yeah, gold. Looking to mega breakout. I think it should wait. The reason why gold is stronger now, it's because the Federal Reserve committed to being looser with the money. When a reserve bank says we're going to be looser with the money, less fiscally responsible, its currency drops, which opens the door for everything priced in dollars to rally. And gold was already rallying. So if gold takes out these prior fails, it's probably going to 216, the GLD. It's a 50-50. You have a shot. I mean, it has the wind behind it, but let's see if it'll do it. I'll put an alert. Put an alert here at 192 and put an alert here, which I may already have. Now I put two of them. Okay. And you are buying dips. So if I'm long the GLD, I would leave runners just to see if I'm looking to go long. I should know that I'm trying to trade a momentum pop. It's not a good investment level in gold. Same as what I'm doing with crypto. I booked most. I left a few hundred coins that are important, which I should have closed last night at 128 or 27. But I said to myself, it's a core position. So if you have a core position in gold, don't trade around it. Google, it's looking to bust out as well into 148. If you've been in a live room, you saw that Google did a lot of work when other stocks were. A couple of weak days we had weakness. Alphabet stock was one of the first that pulled the market out. And I don't see it do that often. You can see big moves, right? So why is it not breaking out yet? So it should be an easy feat for Google to break out into 147. So if somebody's long Google, I see what they're seeing. If somebody wants to buy the dip in Google, yes. So next week, on Tuesday, if we open and Alphabet does this, it's worth buying for a trade to see if you can do this. Because if you can do this, you have the opportunity to pop from this prior fail. And I think it's a zone more so than one spot. And if you break out of it, you will make some headway. The height is kind of murky. Usually it's the depth of the bowl, but there is no easy bowl. So I'm going to give you my body language, like what I think would be doable. So I would be in the mode of buy the dip or chase the rip if you're a momentum trader after the breakout. But that's a bigger conversation. Okay, this is a spin-off. So I'll tell you, you have a buyer below 20.5 and a huge seller. Anything above 22, it's a little bit lower, but anything above 22, massive seller. So it's kind of you're stuck in KVUE. They need a catalyst to bust out through these. So they need a headline of sort to help them bust out. Earnings 66 days, so there's nothing coming from there. Okay, Meta, I would bet down is easier than up, but it'll probably follow the market. So what I would say on Meta is I would say short on a rally for a trade, short for a trade. What is this? So if it pops, I'd be tempted in buying puts or put spreads or selling a call spread. Its bullish story is hard to kill. So why am I shorting? I'm shorting for a move like this, nothing more, nothing less. So you can see how it's rallying hard and then giving you back some, rallying hard and giving you back some. This rally is about the same size as this one. So somewhere up here, they're going to get tired and come back down. Trade, not an investment. If you're an investor for the long term, stay in it. You don't need my chart comments. Okay, who is this? Microsoft. So here's an early leader. Microsoft made a new all-time high before many, many things, including the indices, and it's been waiting. So I'm going to pay attention to Microsoft this week, among other tickers. IWM, Microsoft, those are important. Even stocks like Upstart. So 378, prior fail, to 380 is going to be important on Microsoft Tuesday morning, and versus the lows that it placed not too long ago and the lows from early December. If it loses this most recent low, which is 364, it might be enough to just come down to 352, which would be a good entry spot. So I have an alert, and I will put another alert to be interested in it. and if it comes down, ever comes down to 330 or something like that, it's a jump in. So this is the most honest chart so far today. This one, because it's a legit company, it has no froth. The valuation is questionable, but it's not super expensive because of the money it makes. Good leadership, no issues, and it's shy about breaking out, which is what the market should be doing. So let's see what it does on Tuesday. I'm interested. Nike. So I wanted to sell puts in Nike on its drop, but there's no premium. It is such a stable company that dips are buying opportunities. So if I'm an investor in Nike for the long term, I would have nibbled in shares. I would have taken 25%, 20%. Okay. All right. So the comment is from the room, it has only been a bear market a few times since the market has been tracked. That is the purpose of it. I don't understand the purpose of your question. Okay, so you don't need my answer then, because when you talk about a bear market and you ask about 5 days, I'm a little confused how the two comments go together. So I don't mind answering questions. I just want to frame it in the right perspective. What is a Santa Claus rally? Technically, the term Santa Claus rally, it was the last 3 trading days of the year because of tax purposes. That was the Santa Claus rally. It's not like we're rallying into Christmas. That's not a Santa Claus rally. The term Santa Claus rally was for those 3 days, last trading days. That is my knowledge of the Santa Claus rallies. And in fact, now it's only 2 days because of the settlement period is changed. So I don't know how the Stock Traders Almanac comes into me answering the question. But the more information you have, the more prepared you are. Kudos. Okay, and what my point about seasonality is this is not a typical year. So I don't care. I don't think anything typical, historical, is relevant. It's, in my opinion, if it works out, it's just pure luck. All right, rig. Wow, that hasn't been asked about in forever. Okay, it looks like it wants to break out from 6.4, 6.5, and you might get 40 cents out of it. So if that's your goal, then stay long, or buy the dip into 6. It looks like 6 was a game changer. I don't know anything about its fundamentals, so you should study its fundamentals. The P&L doesn't look that great. So what's going on here? I'm going down the wrong list. How come what is this one doing here? Shoot, it's not alphabetical. Okay, surprise. It's going to be bear going through it. All right, so I'll have to fix that. How did that happen? It's totally messed up. I'm going to stop the video for a minute. All right, we have a mess on our hands. The first video is going to have not alphabetical, but we will finish the stock, and then we will jump into a second list that gives us the next 2 videos. Okay, so we have SMAR, Smart Sheet, okay? I know them. So if they could trickle higher, but I think they're going to end up dipping in the end. So if you're a momentum trader, you can time yourself to chase this rally and then jump out at the right time you can. Otherwise, if I'm long for a trade, I should lock profits just in case. If you want to decide on Tuesday, see if they take out 48 or 48.30 or 48.40 like the prior fail. If you might end up, what I'm saying is you could repeat these up here. So how much money can you make out of it for yourself? Or just buy the next dip into some support. And right here, I'm going to stop this video, which has about 25 tickers, and it's all jumbled up. And we're going to jump into 2 new videos that are alphabetically ordered like they should have been. All right.